All right, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time again. It's that magical time of the week. DefCamp, please bless the people.
Good morning, Azeroth.
And a very solid namaste to everyone watching right now.
Namaste,
dude,
namaste.
Thanks for hanging out with us again today, guys. It's time for the four bros to kick it and talk World of Warcraft. We got a cool show for you today. So first we'll start off with we'll just circle up, man. How are you guys? How the hell are you guys? Did you have a good week?
Not bad, pretty good. I'm actually traveling, so sorry for the poor audio quality that most people are used to. So I'm not in my my laboratory. Yeah, but doing good. Good week.
Yeah, it was a bit tiring, but it's over, so that's pretty good.
That's it. It's Friday, baby. I'm really happy that it's Friday. Got the weekend ahead of us. Got a 3-day weekend, so yeah.
Oh, dude, I just realized, Dunadan, you're a teacher, right? So do you get all the summer off?
Yeah, and I hope that Classic releases in the beginning and not.
Oh, you're so lucky.
POP! So if it comes out, you're gonna be free, like completely free, good to go.
Let's hope so.
Oh man,
we have a holiday from July to August. So if it comes in September, I'm kind of screwed, but we will see.
Yeah.
Oh, we got an admirer of yours. Somebody said Melderon looks hot.
Oh, dude, that's not the first time I've heard that, dude. If I had a nickel for every time I get messaged that per week. Oh, where are you, though, Melderon? Are you still in Pennsylvania?
I'm in Cape May, New Jersey.
He's in the trash can of the United States.
Yeah,
armpit of America.
And the funny thing is, so this is where my WoW career started 15 years ago. Was the first time I ever played WoW was in Cape May, New Jersey, with the guy who's sitting next to me. My friend and my buddy's house, so it's kind of weird.
This is the guy? Yeah. I've heard you talking about this on the vlogs. Will he make it a cameo?
We just recorded a video. We just recorded a discussion, and I'm going to upload it when I get home. So.
Will he make a cameo, or is he camera shy?
He's kind of camera shy. Yeah. Dude, I don't think so.
We've heard so much about you, fam.
There he is. Go to think. Wait, he's gonna. I don't know if you can see this like hole behind me. He's gonna put his head in the hole. No, let's see.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Hello, Daniel.
Wait, so was that the dude, the Navy dude you were talking about, or something?
He's in the Coast Guard.
He's a Coast Guard. He's a puddle skipper.
He's a coastie. Yeah. He's a coastie. Much love to the coasties. What's his job in the coasties?
I think he fixes boats. Yeah. He's getting all weirded out that I'm telling him like what he does. It's cool. No one's gonna.
It's all good. There's like 3 people here, man. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Oh man.
Like a 5-minute delay.
Is a delay, yeah. Is a delay.
Yeah.
He's a Coast Guard SEAL.
Coast Guard SEAL. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's a what do they call him in the Coast Guard, dude? Coast Guard.
Don't worry, I'm one of them.
He's a Coast Guard. He's a sardine.
He's a puddle pirate. That's
puddle
what it
pirate.
is.
Puddle pirate.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought you said something else for a second.
I'm in that pogue life in the army myself, so.
How was your week, Kargas?
Dude, my week was good. The channel is kind of coming, has another second wind, man. I've been a little revitalized, a little rejuvenated on the video front.
40K subs, dude?
That's great, man.
Holy shit. Congrats, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
40K, it's a big milestone.
40K, bro.
For sure. No, I've been feeling a little more motivated to make videos again. I was like, damn, dude, when is the muse going to visit me again? When am I going to feel motivated to be making lots of videos again? And I think it just kind of starting to naturally hit me again, and I'm just feeling good, man. Everything feels better when your creativity is sparked and everything. So
that's awesome. That's awesome,
yeah, man.
bro.
How about you, DefCamp? How's your week?
It was pretty good. I had some things going on at work, and it's just nice to have the weekend off and 3-day weekend. I'm excited to work on some stuff and just hang out and maybe do a stream this weekend. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, really?
Yeah. Might be a little surprise. We'll see.
You killed it during the demo, man. Your demo stream, first stream ever. You got like a couple thousand views on it.
Yeah, I know. But it just sucks because I really want to stream WoW because it's like the game I know the most about. So someone else said it. They said again, Melderon's hot. Damn, dude.
No, it's Dan, dude.
Wait, who? It's that guy right there?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, tea time. That's him. Yeah.
Oh
He's such
my
a
god,
fucking
you
tool.
made it, dude.
Anyway, yeah.
Thank you, Dokken. Thank you, bro. Dude, also,
Yeah.
Dokken is in the chat. You guys all know who Dokken is, right? Dokken,
Dude,
another
Dokken's
content
been
creator. He's
killing
been
it, too.
killing it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's doing Cthulhu now, right, dude? I think
Yeah,
so.
he's on Cthulhu, bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Crushing
Dokken
it.
is if you guys want to watch, you go check Dokken out.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to watch some sick VOD reviews,
Mm-hmm.
there we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a very good VOD reviewer. Probably the
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
Oh, the best, absolutely.
The best. All right, guys.
Yeah.
So we got a couple things we want to talk about today. Nothing super structured this week. It's on the news front. You know, this is kind of a weekly show, so we like to talk about news a little bit. There is none. I mean, there's not like some official update, or else we all would have been going crazy about it, right? There's been some cool stuff popping up on the the old forums here and there, but nothing too crazy over there.
You just got a donation.
420.
420. Well, thank you for the donation, Chansey Curley. Thank you for being such an awesome collaborator. Yo, thank you very much, man.
That's
for
awesome.
Continued support, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any unofficial news?
Unofficial news?
I haven't heard anything,
Yeah,
dude. I haven't heard anything.
I heard some more shit about like Blizzard, just Blizzard
Yeah,
Activision
yeah.
stuff. Nothing like
Nothing about
An
Classic,
awesome
though.
collaborator.
No.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just basically
Yeah, me
they're
neither.
continuing to be shady every day. Stuff
I
like
saw
that.
Swifty put out a video about Classic WoW, and it was funny. He was expressing
Oh,
his
really?
concerns about it, and it was good to see some people on that front talking about it.
Dude, Swifty was back in the day, man.
OG.
He was everyone talked about, like, he was just a god back in the day, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. So, yeah, we're going to talk about add-ons, macros. Believe it or not, I was getting a haircut today, and I was thinking about, man, what can we talk about on Good Morning Azeroth? And I'm sitting there, getting my little buzz. I'm thinking to myself, like, all the other Blizzard games don't really have add-ons and macros. Like, what was Blizzard thinking with regard to add-ons and macros? I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys can fill me in here, but like, maybe we can start there. So, what do you think from the design perspective? Like, as they're building out this game, is this a thing that's been in other MMOs? Add-ons and macros. Maybe that's why that they wanted to put that in the game to begin with. I mean, when I started playing Classic, I didn't use add-ons and macros for a while. I don't know if you guys can relate on that, but I was running around like a noob, just using the UI, the default everything.
Yeah. I actually didn't use anything basically till I raided, and then the guild told me to download. I think it was Deadly Boss Mods already, and I
guys mean a
also
lot to me.
got
Less than 3
Healbot
fam.
because that's pretty handy. But I'm not sure. I didn't heal at first, so that might have been in the Burning Crusade. But I had Deadly.
Thanks, Dokken. By the way, real quick, sorry to interrupt you, David.
No
Dokken just
problem.
donated $5.
Oh, yo, thanks a
Thanks,
lot, Dokken. You guys meme a lot to me, fam. Yeah, you meme a lot to us too, man. You're a legend. Can't wait till we can all stream together. But,
Deadly Boss Mods was not the same as it was now, so it was really just a little bit of help. But nowadays it does everything for you. Well, it doesn't do, but it tells everything you have to do. So
I'm trying to remember what the first add-on I downloaded. So I'm pretty sure
I think it was a DPS
vanilla.
meter. Or no.
No.
Yeah.
I remember when I was very hard into PvP in vanilla. Someone was asking me about any old school PvPers. Now in vanilla though, I didn't like rank 14. I got to like rank 9, maybe something like that. But in the Burning Crusade is when I really started to PvP a lot. I did arena. I got like 24, 25k, 2,500 rating, something like that. And there were some add-ons I got. Remember like OQ? Was that back then too? In BC, there were some add-ons I had to do to do battlegrounds with people. But I'm trying to remember the very first add-on I got. I don't think it was until the Burning Crusade for me. And I think it might have been like a recount or something like that. But in vanilla, I had no add-ons. I think, if I remember correctly, I had no add-ons in vanilla, and I liked it like that. I really did. I liked having to read the quests, and it didn't I didn't know that much about the game. I was very noobish in vanilla, and after talking to people more and more, like the guild I was in vanilla we weren't raiding much. There wasn't much going on. I was basically just having fun, like PvP, and I didn't really meet the people that were like the top of the cream of the crop kind of players that were like really good. That like because in a lot of guilds they were like, okay, you got to have this add-on, you got to have that add-on, and that really didn't happen for me until Burning Crusade.
Yeah, I didn't install add-ons at Burning Crusade. Yeah, I don't even remember what my first add-on was. I'm pretty sure it was either Recount or it was a quest add-on.
Do you remember yours, Dan? Your first one?
Yeah, it was the boss mods, but I also had a damage meter shortly after that, and I also had Omen threat meter, I think.
Oh, Omen, yeah.
Yeah, but the damage meter it was one of the first, and it didn't really work that well because if I remember it correctly, I think it only got the statistics from people within.
Whoa!
Oh,
Ogren, dude! Wow.
$20 donation.
With the 20, thank you, dude.
First off, much love. Second, I don't.
So first off, much love. Second, I don't use many
it.
add-ons, and I don't plan on it.
What was
your guys' favorite add-ons you would like to see to be made for Classic? Wow, good question.
Yeah,
we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the 20, Pogren. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro.
I will finish what I said. I think it worked like it only got the statistics from people within 30 yards range, something like that. And if you had a fight like Ragnaros, everyone was away from each other. So you always ended at the top 1 DPS spot because you were always in the range. So it was kind of different.
I think now that I'm thinking about it, I remember watching a video back in the day. And do you remember the add-on that you could get where your health bar would be like this like circular thing on the side of your character and your mana?
Yes.
I remember downloading that because I thought it looked so cool, but it was horrible. I hated it
I
so
hated
much,
it too.
and I uninstalled it. And I think that was the first. And I think I did get that in vanilla. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the first add-on I ever got. And then I was like, screw this, I don't want add-ons on it. Because for me, it was just like, no, I don't need it. And then as I started to play more, I got more and more. And you also got a new member. There you go.
Oh yeah, new member in the chat. Online username 6, dude. He hasn't missed a single stream, bro. You're on a streak.
That's
man.
awesome. That's
I appreciate
awesome.
you, man. You're always here, man. We got to get you on stream one of these days, bro.
Absolutely. So I think that's a good point, DefCam. So I think like there were like add-ons that I did get after watching or whatever, seeing something and I didn't like him right away. But I think my core, up until Wrath of the Lich King, I literally just had Recount and maybe a quest add-on. That's all I had for a very long time. So my limited vanilla experience was without add-ons.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy though, because like as time went on, add-ons got more and more involved, and now like we go to retail. And what I wanted to say, what we're gonna get more into it, but what Pogren was saying about wanting like what were your favorite add-ons, and there were so many add-ons that I got that I just got used to, like quest tracker add-ons. And as a healer, I really like to shy away from any kind of add-on that makes it like I hate Healbot. I had Healbot for a while. I hated it though because it felt like it was doing too much for me. Does anybody else kind of relate to that? Like, it just I don't like add-ons that make it so that I don't know. Like, okay, so all I needed myself was a good raid frame or something like that, and my macros and my keybinds were all I needed. Like, I felt like Healbot was a little too much, and then there were some crazy add-ons that got crazier and crazier as time went on. Nowadays, you have things like weak auras, right? You can make a weak aura for anything, and I think that totally ruins the game for me. It just, I don't know, man. Like, I really...
Well, not to spoil anything, but I was talking to Tea Time earlier today, and we actually recorded a video which will be uploaded in the next couple of days. But what we talked about was, two things were how add-ons will, inevitably change the game experience. Like, think about it this way: you're in a dungeon, right? And there's a new player in there, and he doesn't know how to play. Right, and he's struggling, and you see his DPS is low. What are the chances you're going to invite that guy back to a group, or even talk to him later? Whereas if there's not a DPS meter, you really don't know that he's not pulling his weight, and maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe you need to address the issue, right, and say, like, listen, dude, your DPS is low. But I think most of the time, what add-ons do is they separate. They kind of form this a barrier for people who don't know about the game, and otherwise the way I was the reason I still play WoW today is because my first foundational months, people were patient with me, and I think that add-ons may limit that.
It does add a level of kind of elitism and this whole other world. Okay, I don't really have a super cohesive point I'm going to make here, but this is something I want to get off my chest. So, if the quality of life stuff is there in the game and people have access to, I'm kind of a naturally competitive person. I will make use of them, and I'm gonna use the most OP ones, as a matter of fact, and try and get myself in the best position. But if no one had it, then then you're all in the same boat. It's like this great equalizer. Yeah. Like it's almost like if I was playing Halo 2 or something, and some guy's playing on PC, and I know he has like superior hardware, and he has like the keyboard and the mouse, and I'm here with a little DualShock controller. That's, to me, it's almost like not an equal playing field. And when people have all these crazy different UIs, all these potentially amazing sophisticated macros and add-ons, I don't know, man. It takes something away from the game, but I can't really put my finger on it. I can't put my finger on it.
It really makes it so looking at, like Melnoran was saying, on the DPS add-on, and like I really think that things like that, it could be good in the guild sense where you're running with a guild, and you got your guys there, and you see, okay, like so and so, this guy, their DPS is kind of low. Let me get with them, talk to them, go over their rotation, help them out in that kind of sense. And you're not really just judging them, but you're trying to help them in that kind of way. And threat meter, right? Threat meters in vanilla are very useful but you got to think, like, we did it without them at a time. No, I understand what you're saying, Cargers, because like it's there, so people should use it, take advantage of it, and and the game kind of, I feel like a lot of add-ons were suited around things that were difficult in the game, so it made some things easier to do, such as questing, such as dealing with threat. So it was basically an answer to dealing with things that were either a pain in the ass to deal with originally, or were time investment, things like that, like trying to find a quest or anything like that. Now, but when it comes to it, at the end of the day, it's changing your experience based on what it would have been if you never had them. And I really think that like Classic is one of those games where not using the add-ons is a completely different experience.
It is.
Like if you were to do it today on retail, it really wouldn't make that big of a difference. But on the other hand, on retail, there are add-ons that literally do so you can go into a fight, not even really know what the mechanics are in Mythic rating, but if you have the weak guards for all that fight, and as long as you pay attention to that weak guard and do what it tells you to do, you can get through that fight. I feel like if that were in Classic, it would be. I do not want weak guards in Classic. I think it's too much. Maybe it's good for a game like what retail is, but if they do, like I always said to Melderon, if there was one thing that I wanted as that I like maybe it would be a raid frame, but like you're not even going to need that now with how the raid frames are.
Would you like Classic without any add-on?
Yeah, I would.
I think I would too. Yeah.
And I was saying that the only add-on that I possibly would download would be an add-on that would make the UI look more like it did in Classic, like not having the.
It makes you feel like everybody's on the same level playing field, and also.
Yeah,
so okay, I keep going back to the demo, right? Throw one in chat or something. Say something if you remember the demo, and I'm talking about if you've been with us since then. But like we didn't have add-ons, right? And even knowing what we know about the game at this point, with all the different characters we've rolled, it was throwing me off, dude. No questy or anything like that, and having to like kind of like re-remember where stuff was. Even at this point, it was still kind of up in the difficulty level a lot, man. And I can only imagine when it gets to a raid, dude, how crazy that's gonna be if you don't have threat meters, you don't have I don't know, maybe it would make the game harder. And like, do you think when Blizzard was designing this stuff too, you think they designed it with the knowledge that that all the players were gonna have this many tools and have this much control of the game?
Maybe not as many as we have today, but back in the day we all had threat meters. We had to have them to kill the second boss in PWL, Velstraza. We needed it to switch a tank, so I think it would be interesting to see it today without any add-ons, because people know how it works, and I think it would be a lot more more fun now without.
Imagine going through the game with no. So I think what I was talking about this morning was like going through the game, questing through it without Questy, and really experiencing the quest system with the way it was intended to be experienced.
But
and I think
do you use it, by the way? On
I did. Yeah, I do. Of course I do. Okay. But the thing is, what I've said to myself now is my first character on Retail Classic, I will not use Questy.
Yeah,
you bring up a really good point, Melderon. A really good point.
That's not true.
Some of the quests,
I'm going to forget stuff. How many quests there are?
But some of the quests, Melderon, in Classic, if you didn't have Questy, would be so juicy and flavorful to experience. Just having to read it and figure it out and piece it together, right?
Like Questy didn't exist in vanilla, right? It
no, I didn't have it, so I don't know.
For example,
it never existed.
Well, one thing comes to mind, right? One thing comes to mind. You remember that Red Ridge quest where you're at the dock and there's like the little girl and you have to go find.
You got to jump in the water and find
her ring or something like that, or it's there's two things where you have to go into the water and go find the stuff, right?
Get the doll or whatever.
Dude, I remember being a little scrub lord, trying to find those swimming around back in the day with no add-on or whatever, and just trying to like look under rocks and explore. That's a very different feeling than if you click your M. If you click M and you see exactly where it is, and you're like, all right, well, time to go check. Time to go check the box. You know, like.
Dude, look at the shaman water totem quest. Like, I never knew that area existed behind Sepulchre.
Behind the Sepulchre, yep.
You know, I never knew that. Like, imagine finding that for the first time without Questy. It feels like this thing that only shamans have ever been to. Then they found it, and it really adds to that. Like, you know, whatever your class is or whatever your class fantasy. You know, here's this secret place that only shamans have found. Here's this place that only druids go to for their water form. And I just really feel like it adds to that level of role play. But the other thing I'm thinking about, like, just quest aside, that's a huge thing right there. So that's the experience that you're going to get, total different experience you're going to get if you don't have a quest add-on. The first one I believe was remember the C came out in Wrath, if I'm not mistaken, was the first, and it was this whole file you had to put in there. I forget the name of it, but
I think there was one in
Carbonite.
Carbonite. That was the first one, if I'm not mistaken. I think Carbonite.
Well, Carbonite wasn't, but then that became you had to pay for it. I remember that at some point.
But just imagine, like, raiding without pally power as a paladin, like having to look and see who has the right buff.
That sounds really annoying. Yeah. Okay.
I know. Just like think about that for a second.
Dude, I'm gonna miss my shaman weapon buff reminder for my shaman.
Yeah, but think about also like it also adds a whole nother layer of social. Like, you really have to rely on other people to do their part more. So, if someone, like you said, like we're talking about, oh, I forgot that this guy's salve buff, it wore off, and now he's pulling threat. I got, he pulled off the boss, because it really just adds a whole another layer of gameplay. I mean, it really does. It's I think we've just gotten so used to the concept of add-ons and making the game easier. Because it does. It makes the game easier. And a lot of people will just argue, say, no, game less time-consuming. Yeah, it does, but I just feel like there's so many instances where add-ons...
That's kind of the magic of MMOs, though. I'd say that the internet, stuff like Discord and add-ons all kind of add a handicap to the game. And I would say that just the internet alone and Discord is like... Dude, that's already more than enough, man. Like, you can already look up everything on the internet, and there's no way to stop people from doing that, right? So, like, just disabling add-ons would maybe make the handicap a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm just, like, I'm okay with there being, like, when it comes down to it, like, I'm okay with there being some add-ons, So, from what they've said, none of the add-ons that work currently on private servers will work in Classic, and none of the add-ons that work on retail will work in Classic. So basically, they're going to have new add-ons. Now, I'm, concerned, and I'm sure Blizzard will do a pretty good job at, not letting certain add-ons in the game, because we talked about it before here on, I think, on this show, how there are add-ons in the game that will literally play the game for you. Like, as a healer, you can put this add-on in, and it will find the target, the lowest health, find the most find the best heal for him, and literally you don't have to do anything as a healer. It's kind of ridiculous. So I'm sure Blizzard will do a great job at not bringing those kind of add-ons into games. But the next step below that, like, it's almost the same thing. When we talk about weak orders and other add-ons, like what Healbot has become and other things where, and there are a lot of people out there who wouldn't play WoW if it wasn't for those add-ons. And I don't know. I like and at least I think early classic will be a chance that, because I'm sure there won't be a lot of add-ons out in the beginning, so a lot of people will get that feel of like, what does it feel like without?
That
add-ons?
would be kind of cool. I hope that it is like some kind of incompatible add-on environment for some of the retail ones, and that we get a little bit of a few weeks or whatever where there's no add-ons. I think that would be really cool, man.
I think it's really important that we have that, because just remember, like, the first time going to a private server in a long time, remember the little things, how they kind of were like not pissed you off, but they surprised you in the beginning. So if you haven't played Classic in a while, right? Say it's been 10 years, you go back to a private server. Oh my God, I can't summon people at summoning stones. I have to shift click the loot. You have to do all these little things, the mounts, but just all these little things that are different. And we got used to it over time, right? Because a week goes by, 2 weeks goes by. Oh yeah, it's awesome that only warlocks can summon. It makes that class feel so much more important, and you start to appreciate it. So maybe if there's a little bit of time where there aren't add-ons, people start to appreciate the game. I don't know.
Yeah, but like some things, like I think like Kevin Kelly said, auctioneer. Like I don't know, I need auctioneer, man. Holy crap!
Dude,
like, you know how much time you're gonna be in the auction house?
Well, I guarantee I wonder if the auction house is going to be how it was in Classic, or if it's going to be a 7.35 auction house.
What do you mean? Still the same thing.
Because isn't the mailbox system going to be the current mailbox system? Or?
You can open up a whole bunch of stuff at once? I don't know.
All right, yeah. I have a question though. Do you think if Blizzard actually did just to try it out, like a no add-on server, would that still be no changes, or would that be?
Yeah, I guess it would be more no changes in one way, because people are no changes, but they forget that most of the changes, like a dungeon finder, it could possibly be added with an add-on.
Add-ons aren't changes to the game; it's stuff that people made outside of the game that slots into the game.
But add-ons were part of vanilla.
They were, but
they were.
I don't know.
Not the add-ons we have today. So
not the add-ons we have today. No.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
It was really. Like I said, the damage meter didn't even work, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, man. Like, a lot of people's play styles will completely change, and a lot of things will change. As a mage, or as a warlock, you can sit there, look at your threat meter, and just know, okay, I gotta calm down now. If you don't have that threat meter, you're gonna make sure that, like, every couple seconds, you're
gonna stop DPSing.
You're gonna stop DPSing. You're gonna do this, and I'm sure it'll make boss fights longer. It'll make boss fights harder. People will be, you'll have tanks yelling at people.
Would that be better though? I actually don't know. Maybe it would purely be annoying, but maybe it would.
It would make the experience different than on private servers, which is always good.
Yeah.
Right.
But you both, all three of you, did use Questy on private servers?
On private servers, hell yeah. I don't even remember
what my first add-on was. That's really strange to me, because I never used Questy. I hate Questy.
But I didn't use Questy my first time through, so like.
Okay.
When I played retail originally, I didn't use any add-ons at all. So I learned, but it's amazing what you remember, because, and maybe this is a point that you made, DevCamp, is like, I still remember most of I can autopilot as a Forsaken up into like level 30. I know all the quests, where they are, everything.
I never ever used Questy in vanilla WoW. Never.
Wow.
Not on private servers.
You probably have really good memory then, dude. Or you just want to figure it out.
No, man. I just don't like it. It's one of the reasons I hate leveling in retail.
Yo, one thing that I think was kind of a smart move. Correct me if I'm wrong. If people still play retail, they probably know the answer to this. But for a while, at least, they may still be doing it. At least in the PvP like championships. Oh, look at this Swampasars in the background. Fucking love Swampasars. Let's go. But anyway, in the PvP championships, they made the top level people not use any add-ons, right? They had to use the default UI.
I think that's
I think that's dope,
in current WoW,
because it levels the playing field.
Yeah, in current WoW, so you can't have some crazy sophisticated setup. You have to literally be able to log in to like a fresh computer and then just keybind out the default UI. I just thought that was a cool thing that they've done.
Yeah, I mean, because otherwise, I think you have to, because you never know who has what add or who develops their own add. Do you know what I mean? So
sure,
you know,
it's crazy as well how many add-ons always being put out there. Like, we talked about that one add-on that does shit for you, but I'm afraid that in Classic, like, of course we have private server community, and the add-ons have been very honestly, the private server community, for the most part, a lot of the add-ons are not too crazy. There are the ones that I talked about that, the ones that very few people use that will like do the healing for you, all that kind of shit. Maybe it's a little bit more popular than I realize, but for the most part, I feel like some of the like they're not as crazy as they are in retail, right? With things like weak auras, and I know I've been talking about weak auras a lot, but I'm so against the fact that an add-on like that could be put into Classic, because when you think about it, add-ons over time had become needed, or not needed, but they were made for what was going on in that current time, right? So a lot of like in Wrath of Lich King, you got the gear score add-ons, all that kind of shit that people are crazy about.
Right.
So imagine all these add-ons that were made basically for later expansions making their way into Classic. I think that would be the biggest detriment, is having these add-ons that were developed so much later, and that were basically developed around, like Cataclysm, after all that, we had weak auras on these other things come out. I would think that would be a big detriment to that coming into the Classic.
But would it be possible for Blizzard to make the difference between them? Can they monitor which was in Classic and which was not?
Yes, they said that they would at the the panel. They said that they would make, so even from what I heard, they would, any kind of add-on that would change the UI to make it, like, they even said, from what I understood, because I'm not a huge fan of how the raid frames work in the demo. It's basically the 7.35 raid frames, the new ones.
Right.
So I was thinking, maybe someone will make an add-on to make it like the old version. But Blizzard said if someone would do that, they would block it, because they don't want anyone doing anything like that would make huge change to the UI like that.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I understand, yes, they would block add-ons like that. But who knows? I mean,
just bringing it back to a more like art, like just my heart fucking talking right now. Like, so what Meldron was saying about add-ons and quests, and how quests are meant to be experienced. I'm having a hard time finding the right words, but I think that applies to a lot of other aspects of the game. Like, I don't know if Blizzard designed this beautiful artistic world so that there would be like add-ons that manage the exact spawn timer of every mob, and people could camp the mobs with precision, and just as soon as the devil soars up, it's literally killed, and all this, man. Like, and of course you're able to still research this stuff. There's no stopping the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, do you think Blizzard designed this world intending for add-ons to come into the scene? And
I think they knew add-ons were inevitable, but I don't know if they. I don't think that they realized the level of which people would. I mean, you look at the game and how it was designed. Of course, there were going to be add-ons. I think it was inevitable that add-ons would make their way into the game, but I don't think they realized the magnitude, how much people would weigh on those add-ons. Like, look at Curse and how that became such a huge thing. Like, everyone who played WoW had a Curse client. You know what I mean? It was like almost everyone.
That's another annoying thing about add-ons, though, man. Having to keep them updated and stuff, bro. That was always such a pain.
Yeah.
Having to delete them and download new ones, and
Yeah.
they would get buggy all the time and shit. I wonder if there was a precedent with other MMOs where there was lots of add-ons and macros and stuff that they were basing it off of. And also I heard that Blizzard would stop people from making certain type of add-ons. Like, they had a line in the sand at some point where they didn't want people.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they did, and they will. They will again. I think it's definitely something that they keep an eye. They make sure that there are no add-ons that make the game so broken or so easy, like the ones that make their way into private servers, the ones that basically do healing for you, stuff like that. They make sure that won't make it into the game.
Or even like a botting add-on, right? Obviously, that's an extreme example. But there is some line in the sand here that Blizzard would be like, nah, that's not cool.
I hope they will keep it monitored. Otherwise, we will have a dungeon finder within a month.
So Julian just said the line in the sand is automated healing, which was removed from the API back in Classic, yeah.
And something.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's being exploited though in private servers. But yeah, I see.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So there's an ad. Like, I was in that raid group, and someone literally whispered me and said, "Oh, what automated healing add-on are you using?" And I didn't know they existed. And I said, "What are you talking about?" And they said, you don't know there's an add-on you can get that literally just selects the target and heals for you. And I'm like, why the fuck would you do that?
What's the point of playing the game?
That's
I honestly don't understand. We had 2 priests, I'm not going to name who they were, in our guild. And, I always pride on myself, of being, a decent healer. Like, and I'm like fighting, at top of the heal spot with these guys. I'm like, damn, they're giving me a run for my money. This is awesome. Like, I love when other healers give me a run for my money, and I'm like, I feel like, it's competition almost we get with other healers. And then I come to find they're using the add-on, and I'm like, what's the point? Like, why
play a game if you just
why play the game? Yeah, I mean, okay, decursive is so decursive also. Thanks for bringing that up, Julian. Decursive is also an add-on that that Blizzard blocked. They felt that it was too much of a doing it for you kind of add-on, which I honestly agree with. Yeah, is it nice to not have to click on dispel magic or abolish disease and just click on one button and it picks and chooses for you? Yeah, it's great. It's nice, but it's not needed. And I can play my character myself and not have to worry about that. Because it's like you really don't need it. It's just being lazy. And it gets to the point where it's just, is it quicker? Will you get that split second more? Will maybe you be where you might be able
to? It ruins the fundamental levels of why you want to play the game.
Not only does it put everything in one button, but it literally lets you put a priority list.
Yeah.
So, let's say it's a shaman
first. Yeah.
Yeah, you have shaman, so you have cure poison and cure disease, right? So not only does it make those things one button, it also, during the last fight in EQ20, you gotta decurse, I think, the tanks first, or the healers, I can't remember which. But it literally lets you set all the healers, so it puts them at the top of the list, so you just click the healers.
Yeah,
that's all, it's automated.
That is such a boner killer, dude. And you're saying, okay, but let's say that, I mean, what steps could Blizzard take to totally ban something like that, or make sure it doesn't? It seems like they almost couldn't do.
They already did, though. They already did decursive.
The decursive didn't make its way into.
Yeah, it's only if it gets big. So as long as the add-ons stay under the radar, there's not much they can do, right?
That's what I'm saying. Could someone just still use it, even if they
the decursive
banned it, or whatever? Let's say Blizzard says automated healing is the line, and they say no one's allowed to use automated healing add-ons. Could someone develop a little low-key add-on and use it? Okay, so you're saying there's anti-cheat.
Well, they would get caught probably. They have anti-cheat software that would. Yeah. So I don't know how it works. I'm not but from what I know, they have anti-cheat software that would basically find the person who's doing it, ban them, and whatever kind of action that they take on those people. So
all right,
they have ways of finding them. Yes.
So let me tell a little story here. So I've followed StarCraft for a long time. I don't know if you guys are familiar with StarCraft, but StarCraft is probably the hardest fucking game that has ever been conceived of. It's like
the original StarCraft?
Just StarCraft 2 right now. I mean, StarCraft, just the genre, the RTS genre, where you have, a baseline 300, 400 actions per minute. It is so insane. You could control every single unit and micro it perfectly, and it's the hardest game I could possibly conceive. And most esportsy people are kind of aligned with that, saying StarCraft, that game is just too hard, bro. And that's partially why it's not as successful as some of the other games that have more accessibility. Anyway, they've developed a bot for StarCraft recently called Alpha Star, right? You've seen this, right? Alpha Star. So I hope this isn't apples and oranges, but they've developed this bot called Alpha Star that's beaten pro players.
Yeah,
it's beaten pro players.
It's a machine learning algorithm. Yeah.
Yes, and they just compile thousands and thousands of games by these pro players and do little mini tournaments constantly 24/7 around the clock, just nonstop, doing little mini tournaments against each other and fucking having permutations and evolving into some amazing thing that knows every strategy. And they paid some of the casters like Artosis and people to cast some of the Alpha Star games, and they're showing how amazing this thing is. And I think they were trying to show to the community how amazing it is, but a lot of people watching it, dude, it was, even the casters were getting a little bit down casting this because the human element's gone. Now this machine is just fucking beating these pro players, and it's not as juicy to watch that intense esports action.
The human mind cannot compete with a computer ever.
It's not as juicy to watch the action and for it to be enjoyable if you know it's not humans doing battle against each other or whatever.
Yeah,
if
I mean, didn't like deep thought that computer just like it beat a human at chess and shit like that. So I mean, yeah, it takes the fun out of it. And I mean, like look at all the people. How many times you still see it in retail where they find botters all the time trying to like. It's a huge problem where they bot to try to get honor. Like you go into battlegrounds, you're botting, and you're getting as much honor as you can so you can get rank 14. Like it just that totally negates anything that you've done. Like if you botted, like in my eyes, to do that, you shouldn't ever be.
Yeah, as you say, it's like it's like Armstrong, whatever his name is, first name. Doping.
Yeah, it's like exactly.
It's like
taking steroids, man. Yeah, it's like taking steroids, body. Yeah. It is. And I mean, have people done it before? And I'm sure a lot of people have done it before. And I've done things in WoW myself, and but I like to think I learned from my mistakes and move forward. I've done things I shouldn't have done, but it's like one of those things where you can look at it, you can see, okay, this person's botting. I can, and you see it all the time in private servers, people that bot and do like, farm gold and all this kind of shit. You could, if you want to, you can butter your way and report them, whatever. But like, it's their loss. You know what I mean? They're the ones who aren't enjoying the game. They're playing it at this.
Well, I wouldn't say they're not enjoying the game because we don't know that.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I just feel like
they're hurting the spirit of the game to a certain extent. I mean, all I'm saying is like, if you add up everything that could potentially slip through the cracks, right? Like, I have no doubt Blizzard's going to try and police it, but as soon as you open up that Pandora's box to the world to make tools, like you're in this whole nother world where shit is slipping through the cracks. And if you add it all up, like phishing bots, honor bots, some of this automated healing stuff that you're talking about, let's say the add-ons like weak auras, like you're talking about, decursive. Things like this, the line in the sand gets harder and harder to regulate and harder to clarify. All I'm saying is if you close that box and you said, all right, you can't even build any tools. This is the game. It's been designed this way.
Apparently Pantheon's not allowing any add-ons.
Yeah, and that's great. But, and I'm sure they'll design the game. Like, that's the thing. Do you think WoW was... I wonder if they're going to design Pantheon in a way that they won't be needed. You know what I'm saying?
But are they needed?
And WoW?
That's the thing. That's the thing. Are they needed in WoW? No. They absolutely are not. At the end of the day, you do not need add-ons to play the game.
Did you ever
kill bosses, to raid?
Did you ever try to use the old UI though recently?
Yes, where you had to drag the frames out. Yeah. I did that until BC, brother. So
I must confess, I haven't done that recently.
Yeah, so Cardress, you had to actually go into the raid
and drag them out,
icon and drag the frames out. And
I did it on private servers quite recently.
So I'm like a little. I guess I'm a little bit like OCD, and if they weren't even, I would sit there during the raid trying to make them so that they were even. I would go
pixel perfect.
Yeah.
Like if they weren't lined up perfectly, I would just sit there and be like, okay, this one, and then someone's dying, and I'm like, oh shit, they're dying, and
that's exactly what I'm doing. To make them.
So yeah, it's and like Tea Time said, yeah, it can be done. You can heal it. You can worry about, if you know your rotation, if you know how much threat, if you're gonna do like 5 shadow bolts in a row and they all crit, yeah, you might want to stop doing the DPS for a little bit. You got to know your limitations, and you'll get into the feeling of, okay, this is how it is without add-ons. I have to get used to it, and I really feel that you can have fun without it. It's going to be different, but everyone's different, man. Everyone likes their own things. Some guys like red cars, some guys like black cars. It's just like people's preference, and I really feel like just because I prefer a certain way, I don't think I have the right, or we have the right to say that everyone should not do it. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, a game without add-ons would very much recapitulate our first experiences in Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
It would. It would.
So that would be a good thing.
Well,
that's a good thing, right?
I don't feel like we could force that on people. You know what I mean?
Unless Blizzard does.
Well, unless Blizzard does, yeah. I mean, yeah.
But
I don't think they will.
It still potentially would be no changes because they're not fucking with the game at all. They're just like, you can't build crazy tools for the game right now.
But I do think that every decent guild used threat meter at least in vanilla WoW. I think it's not necessary today, but back then I think almost every guild used it, and if it wasn't there, there would even be fewer people who cleared next Rammus, to say something.
This is something that I'm thinking about doing, and low-key I've been thinking about this for a while. I'll probably end up just making an alt on a server like this to try it out, because I've been talking, but I'm not really putting it into practice. But I would like to see what it's like to level on like an RP server with no add-ons, with people that are in that kind of boat, that aren't on the super high strung competitive level potentially, and see what it's like, dude. See what it's like. I'd like to see how it would plan out if there was a server that was like, let's say it's an RP server with no add-ons, with all of this. Would it be fun? Like, I don't even know. Like, maybe it wouldn't even. Maybe this stuff is just better talking about it, and then in practice it's not fun. I don't know.
That's interesting though, because we were talking about something the other day, and we were talking about how this one person, how they experience the game, right? If they're doing MC and they're going in there, and what's it called? They're a speed clearer, and they only do fights. They only AOE fights in MC. Like, other people aren't gonna, like, the majority of people aren't gonna have that experience, right? The majority of people are gonna have the casual experience, the experience where you might wipe a little bit in MC. They're not gonna be going in there and AOEing all the ads for every fight in Molten Core and like doing 30-minute runs. That's not going to happen for the most part for most people. So when you look at it, right, the majority of people are going to have this, casual experience where they're enjoying the game at their pace. They're going to wipe a couple times. They're going to do this. Not everybody's going to have the add-ons. Not everybody's going to have this. And it's going to be at a slower pace, and everyone's going to enjoy it at their pace and their level and what they're used to. And yeah, there's always going to be that percentage of people out there who, go the extreme, they go the extra mile, and they enjoy it, and that's good for them. I myself, like, I like to dabble maybe in a little bit of both. I like to do this, I like to do that. I like that. But I just thought about how that sounded in my head. But, I feel like a lot of people, for the most part, aren't going to have that experience, and I don't think it's, and it's okay, and that's okay, right? But I don't know. I don't think it really makes a difference to me if someone else is using this add-on, and as long as you're in a guild, right? And we can talk about that. Or like, if your guild requires you to have this add-on, that add-on, that add-on, and you don't agree with it, then you shouldn't be in that guild, right? Maybe that's not the guild for you.
Let me ask you guys something. Knowing what we know now, everything, all included, if you could, let's say that this was on the table, a server with no add-ons, what would your dream server look like, as far as population, as far as what type, as far as everything we've discussed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
PvP, tops 5,000 people. I would say I'd err on the side of no add-ons. Even though I like add-ons and I want them in the game, I would err on the side of no.
What does progression look like on it? We're talking like patch. We're talking.
Wow! I would go house it on private servers. Keep it at 1.12 as far as talents are concerned, and then patch out as it's done with progressive itemization and progressive raids on private servers.
Okay, that's interesting.
So no dire maul for on launch and stuff like that, right?
Correct. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would also do my max would be 3K. I think a 3K server population is more like it. I personally would allow add-ons. However, I would only allow add-ons that I'd be very restrictive with the add-ons. I would allow things like I wouldn't allow decursive. I would allow maybe some unit frame add-ons. Maybe some auctioneer, DPS threat, nothing like none of the healer add-ons, no decursive, nothing like that. So I'd be very limited with my. I would also personally, if I could, like to do a progressive patch server. So I know Dunedane's gonna be a fan of this as well. 1.1 to 1.12. I want content to come out with the items with everything how it was in actual vanilla. I wanted to be as much of a vanilla experience as it possibly could be. So I'm talking 3K, 2.5 to 3K max.
Is it PvE, PvP, RP? What is it?
PvP to the max. I don't want battlegrounds in the beginning. I want it to be all world PvP in the very beginning. Battlegrounds are not going to come out until later. Iron Mall, that's not going to come out until later, and it's going to be, we're not going to have all the battlegrounds come out first. It's going to be AB, WSG, and then AV. So it's going to be very much as it was released and the same time frame. I hate servers that release content too quick. So you're doing MC.
Well, Light's okay too.
Yeah, I understand that, but I want it to be even as much the same time frame as it was in vanilla. So 1.1 as much as it was in 1.1. 1.2 the same itemization, same progression, same everything. And the only thing that I would change would be, of course, there were no add-ons like they were in Light's Hope, but I would say very limited add-ons.
Okay, what about you, Dan? Dream server.
I would like a PvP server with whatever the population cap was back then. So if it was 2.5k, I would like it to be 2.5k.
Is that what it was back then?
I don't 2.5.
I don't know. I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah. What I want as well is what DevCam said. I want everything as it was, exactly as it was back then. So I would like all class balance to be as it was, talents as it was, and
so the non 1.12 talents, like the potentially imbalanced talents, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I would really like it to be exactly the same, like exactly as much time between each patch as it was, and I wouldn't even mind if the bugs were in there, but I don't care about that as much. So that's my dream scenario, I guess, but that's not realistic. So,
how about add-ons?
And add-ons, I would allow something like a damage meter, a threat meter, and I think that's enough.
But I don't know if they can even do that though. Like
I think
it's either a yes or no. With add-ons. I don't know if they're able to enforce it like that.
Yeah, I suppose they could make their own damage meter and threat meter and use that, and no add-ons. I don't think rate frames are necessary. I don't think healbot or anything like that is necessary. I don't like Questy. I don't like Auctioneer. I don't like Decursive. Maybe Atlas Loot would be something that could be allowed, something like that. That would be ideal, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I can play 20 years on the same server if they would launch.
I love how, dude. I love that answer, man. You could play 20 years. I feel you, man. I could probably play, if I had the dream server conditions. Oh man, I don't know. It would be so much fun.
Yeah,
so,
I gotta say, Dooney Dane was the one who really fence for a while with the 1.12, like where he listening to him talk really was like, okay, because I didn't start playing until 1.8, 1.9 around there. I didn't get to experience that, so I would love to. And Kali, none of us, I don't think any of us believed that we would ever recreate the experience we had in Classic. We're just trying to get as close to it as we possibly could. That none of us, we all know we're not so naive to think
we're
that
not the same people.
Exactly.
The same people.
Yeah. None of us could ever experience, I'm not where I was at that point in my life, and I've already experienced most of the game, but I would love to get as close as possible as it was at that time. Absolutely.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would I'm in the similar boat to you guys in a lot of the things. I would opt for no add-ons. My position is sort of that it would still be no changes if they didn't allow add-ons, because they're not actually manipulating the game as far as class balance, as far as anything. Like they're not actually fucking. That's a big deal for me. Class balance and putting weird shit in like that. So I think that they could have a server option that had no add-ons, and I don't think that they would be betraying a no changes philosophy. The second thing is, for sure, I would have the lower pop. I like the idea of when you run into someone, whether they're on your faction or the other faction, that you pay mind to it. Like you're like, wow, it's another person. Like, oh man, it's not just, it's a little bit more meaningful when you come across another person in the world. So I'd want the lower pop for sure. And the other thing that would be a little bit of a difference is I think in my dream server at this stage in my life, I might want to opt for an RP PvP server. And I've never RP'd in my life, so I don't know if I'm even correct by saying this, but I would imagine if I had to, and this could be wrong, seriously, just call me out if I'm wrong, because I don't know. I just would imagine the difference between like an RP PvP server and just a regular PvP server is on an RP PvP server, you might have people that are a little bit more chill, a little bit more open-minded when it comes to the lore and stuff like that.
There's unwritten rules. You have to have certain naming conventions, and you're supposed to act in character. Those rules are unwritten, though.
To me, that would just add another dimension to the game, and I feel like you could still kind of only abide by them in a very limited way and not have it really interfere too much, you know. But it would just create another level of immersion. I'm just thinking to myself, why not? If there's people out there that are really into it and are, you know, going the extra 10 yards.
So 7, I can't read your name. 7 his on 3. I would definitely do that. I would get rid of flying mounts in Classic B.
See, I was just thinking the same thing. I said
but here's the issue, though, real quick before you go on. Some parts of the map are only accessible with flying mounts.
Yeah,
so you'd have to change the actual map.
And that as well, and some of the dungeons were only able. So I was thinking maybe only 60% flying mounts, so that you're not flying. Like, you can still access those places.
Cooldowns.
Or cooldowns on the mounts. Yeah, that would be cool too. Yeah. Like, you can only use it for 5 minutes or so, but yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't. It was in BC. It was good. BC was fun.
It was
it's
amazing.
Ruined some world PvP. That's true, but BG's actually ruined world PvP already.
Yeah, we're not saying it came in Classic, Julian. I'm not sure you saw that.
We're just talking about the Burning Crusade.
TBC, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I would keep it like it was in BC as well.
Yeah, it's just yeah. But back to like when we're talking about the add-on thing for a second, I wonder. Like, I think you guys, I understand you guys are saying like you would like a server with no add-ons, but I'm not going to be a dick here, but you guys play with add-ons though, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah, so
because like, people have access to it. But if no one had access to it, I'd be cool with it.
Okay, I understand. I just
my thing is like I'm going to use add-ons, but I agree with you. If the option's not there, I'm not going to miss them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be on an even keel with other people. If no one else has them, then I would actually prefer that. But if that's there, then I'm gonna get the most savage add-ons that are gonna do the most. I click one button, my whole rotation's done, and all my fucking gold, just 9 million gold.
Oh, not me.
No. You know, I don't know.
For me, I like to find my balance, right? Like so are you saying, Cargos, that if you were playing on a private server and being a healer, would you get that automated healing add-on because someone else?
No, that's a little bit too
if it was legal, if it was legal
you would?
And not against TOS, I would.
It is.
No.
Well, the private servers
if I'm raiding, dude, I want to try and get those top parses and stuff. Like, that's kind of just
the point, dude.
Like, I don't know, man.
It's not you doing it. It's not you. It's the add-on.
Call it okay. I don't know how automated it is. Maybe it's literally just like you press a fucking
it's very
button.
Automated.
You're just sitting there like this as your character's going about it. I haven't been there myself.
Pretty much.
Like, at least the cursive, you're actually clicking something.
Right.
Even the cursive is too much, man.
Well, no. What I'm saying, I said I agree with you, Def Camp. What I'm saying is, at least you're actually clicking something.
Right. You're right, and that's where I draw the line in the sand. Like, to be competitive, Cargos, I do use the cursive while raiding. I do. But I will never go above that line that I've made. So I've made kind of like, I won't go, and because on those private servers they don't really combat that, you can go ahead and use the automated thing, and they're not really going to find out. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm not going to cross that line.
All I'm saying though is, what if you're in a guild and you're underperforming and you look like an idiot and everyone else is using it and you're literally...
I still would be like, hey, I'm sure in this...
I'm an idiot in my own right. At least I tried.
And you know what? In that respect, the class leader should get with me and talk to me about my rotation.
Well, they don't even have a rotation, dude. They're running like a script. It's like healing everybody in the raid. That sounds awful, bro. The more and more I'm thinking about it, I hope that's not a thing, man. That just sounds...
It won't be in Classic, no.
That sounds so awful.
No, what, the automated... Oh, screw you, Dan. Cursive. Yeah, everyone uses the cursive on private servers. Well, not everyone, but I'm not going to say that, but...
So yeah. What was your favorite timeline how would you see the perfect server? Because you ended at the RP.
Oh,
PvP
right,
server.
right. Okay, so I would not want Dire Maul on right upon the launch. I'm making this Hunter PvE guide just as a little, heads up everyone. And I was talking to this guy, Cornhole, yesterday.
Wait, I have to interrupt you. Make sure you do some pet stuff on there, right?
Yes, pet stuff. Yeah, we're going to do pet stuff, dude. Lots of furry stuff on there. So I was talking to this guy, Cornhole, really good hunter. And I never really fleshed it out so much in my own mind. But I kind of underestimated how big of a deal it is when, Dire Maul is out. And it's not. And if it was like the non-nerf Dire Maul, where you have access to tribute runs and the whole pre-raid BIS changes and your whole priority list changes. Like once Dire Maul's out, that's pretty much all you do, man. You just like farm Dire Maul tribute like crazy and get as much gold as you can. And so I wouldn't want Dire Maul on launch. I'd want to space it out a little bit, and then pretty much progressive itemization from there. That's probably just kind of how the private servers are doing it right now. I still think it would be cool to have stuff like Lupos in for a time. I think it's kind of an era. Some people would disagree,
dude.
But
so fucking OP. I just hate getting killed by a fucking pet.
Well, dude. Cargo, you've not been playing a Hunter recently, and I'm just amazed every day about how powerful they are solo in the world.
Yeah.
And dude, tell me if this is crazy. Classic launches day one, I just start plowing through the world as a hunter, just literally just farm, just not doing any quests, just burning down animals, selling the skins, and just blowing through it, and then sending all that money to my shaman when he gets to 60, and then have my shaman start off with like 500 gold.
Yeah, you can do that,
dude. I'm thinking about doing that so much right now. It's not even because they just blow through everything.
I mean, honestly, bro, it's such a buzzkill, almost in the same sense of what Def Camp was saying with the automated healing.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
This is the best strat. This is the best strat. You level a mage first, and then you get to 60, and you start dungeon mob tagging every other class in the game up to 60 in like a fucking week, and then you call it a ding dong day. And it's super kind of not with the spirit of the game, but that would be the path of least resistance.
Dude, okay,
I'm talking about on a fresh server now. So okay, you're gonna be on the head of the wave, right? You're gonna be around above everyone else as that hunter, right? You're gonna start off. You're gonna get your first bow, get your mount, and get your first pet at level 10, and then it's donezo after that, right? You're just gonna blow through the content. Get to 60. Don't even buy your level 40 mount. Just aspect the cheetah the whole way.
No, you can buy your 40, man. You'll have just gold sitting in your bag. Might as well buy it. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but I want to put all that gold to my shaman, right? So basically, I want to save as much gold as I possibly can, farm a little bit at 60, and send a G.
It'd still be worth it to buy it though, because you'll make up that gold in speed. Just getting to 60 and just a few Dire Maul runs, dude. If Dire Maul's out,
that's a good point. Yeah, and just send a solid G to my shaman, and my shaman has nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like playing doing I don't know. I'm being a little a hater here, but
what?
I'd like people to play. I don't know. It's just
people to play what? Hunter?
No, Hunter. Okay, so I understand the appeal to hunters and all, but
yeah, but dude, they're not great endgame though.
I understand.
You know what I mean? So that's their penalty.
I know. It's just and I have respect for the people that play endgame and play but to me, I feel like it's too easy in the same respect of how add-ons make things a little too easy for me. In that same respect, almost.
The curveball I throw at you is I'm just saying PvP, man. PvP is the curveball I'd throw at you, man.
Yeah.
Hunters are hard to play in PvP, and they're fucking...
And they're hard to play in PvE, too.
Well, unless it's World PvP when you just stick your pet on somebody running around.
Okay, fine. Yes, you can gank pretty much. If you open up on someone, you have a very high chance of beating them. Yes. That's 100% true. But, I'm realizing now the potential of just farming as a hunter.
Yeah, I like farming
providing
as a mage
for your other character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, mages can do it too, but they can't level as fast as hunters, dude.
No, they can't. I know.
And that's the thing, right? So it's, I don't know. I'm just realizing the potential now, and it's kind of ridiculous. Even though I think they're gimped, and I think that for the leveling process, not for anything else.
We're only talking about the leveling process, you guys.
But they're very powerful to have as a first character.
They are. Yeah. My first character is always going to be a priest for me, because I need to have a healer and I need to have a priest first. I'm going to make my priest, then I'm probably going to make either my paladin on Alliance,
nice.
probably a rogue, and then after that, maybe Shaman. Yeah.
One point I thought of right now. So some people were saying in the comments that, okay, so if there was no add-ons, it would be a different game. I hear where they're coming from. They're saying that it wouldn't be classic. But all I would say back to them, though, is that with all the modern add-ons we have right now in retail and the advancements in technology, it would also be a different game with all these other new add-ons that we didn't have access to back during original classic. So to my mind, it kind of evens it out. And
I mean, you're right, because like look at the add-ons. So a lot of the people saying it would be a different game. The add-ons that were around back in classic, so many of them, a lot of them were not that game-changing as they are now. You know what I'm saying? They were very, like HUD, things where they mess like your UI around a little bit. They weren't as game-changing as a lot of the add-ons that are now, and the add-ons that people make for private servers now, such as, even Luna, and Luna wasn't around back then. I think the first raid frame add-on I had, I think it was X-Pearl or something like X-Pearl in BC.
Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of these add-ons that we play on private servers, a lot of people were thinking, classic and this, they were not around in vanilla. A lot of people had add-ons in vanilla, yes, but they were very different than they are on the private servers. The DPS add-ons were very bad. There were some threat add-ons, there were some other things, but they were very limited, and they were not like the add-ons that we have for private servers today. So, yeah, it would make it a different game, but I think it would be more... Okay, it would be more in the essence of Classic to have no add-ons than to have the add-ons today. You guys agree with that?
Oh, dude, that's a big one. That's going to be controversial, but yes. And I think when you watch streams and stuff too, and you see people with all their different weird customized add-ons with weird stuff everywhere, it kind of detracts from the viewership experience in my mind. I like having that very simple, clean, streamlined user interface that everyone can look at and relate to and see. And that ties into another point too with macros. So this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I don't think hardly anyone will agree with me. But as far as macros, it seems kind of like an immersion killer and kind of just like a very bizarre aspect of the game that players can just like be a developer and like script out some Lua and then do some like sophisticated string of cast sequence or something. Mm-hmm. Is that in other MMOs? Is that a thing that's just
I have no
standard
idea.
practice?
I love macros, and I think it's because for a while I didn't understand them. Like in vanilla, I didn't know what the fuck macros were. I knew about keybinds, you know what I mean? But I made my first macro for something like I think it was a cooldown and something else, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I can get around using certain spells and doing this, so I don't have it made it for me like I was accessing the game more than I knew. So this is something that's in the game that you're allowed to do it, and you can figure out on your own. And I felt like for me, once I figured out, once I got macros and figured out what I could do with it, it opened a whole new world to me. And I felt like, okay,
it did. But isn't it just still bizarre though? I feel like it's just... I've never seen anything like it. I haven't played a lot of other MMOs, is all I'm saying. But it seems weird to me that I can type /macro and pull up this little mini game of macros with my own little thumbnail tooltips and script out weird stuff.
But dude, like playing a hunter, especially, or anything with a pet, I feel like I need macros, especially stop, attack, to go for a hunter. There are definitely some classes out there where macros are way more important than others. Like I would say hunters and and also with a rogue or any kind of anything that uses rage or energy or even mana. There's times where or your auto attack, you're waiting. I always make a macro so that my Sinister Strike, if I don't have energy, it will start my auto attack already. I hate sitting there I gotta right click on the attack button. No, I always set it so that the macro will do it when I hit whatever my spam attack is. You know what I mean? I just feel like there's a lot of classes where macros are needed more so than others.
I agree.
I
They're
don't know.
very, very essential,
Yeah.
man. Like, no doubt. There's no doubt that they're super, super important. I have just always found it very strange that this is a thing that you're expected to do as a player. To, like,
I don't think you're expected to do it. I think it's definitely possible to play without macros. I did it. I mean, I wasn't a great player, but you can do it. You can play with clicking and not key binding. Doesn't make you a worse player. It makes you maybe a little bit of a less responsive player.
Yeah, I think Dev Camp's right. I think the difference between using add-ons and not using add-ons is clicking and key binding.
Yeah,
it's the same.
Any of you use it in vanilla macros?
oh yeah, I
In
use tons of
vanilla,
macros in vanilla. Yeah.
Okay.
My first macro I think was for like a Sinner Strike attack macro or something like that for my rogue.
My first and only macro in vanilla was charge macro on my warrior, and it
Okay.
shouted charge.
It
In
said
what? What did you
/yell charge.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah, super annoying.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my Death Knight with Get Over Here with Death Grip.
But I feel like keybinds are way more important. For me, keybinds are the most important thing than macros. I mean, depending on the class. Like some classes, macros are very like a hunter. Like I feel like macros are much more important for some other
I think
classes.
the first useful macro I used was in arenas to target my teammates for healing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for what did you say again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you
Just focus
had
target
those
macros. Focus.
Focus targets,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the first time I really used macros, and I think that's the only time because I kind of play without macros.
I'm not saying that macros shouldn't be in Classic. All I'm saying is I think it's really bizarre of a system. Like, it seems like they would just, like, start attack macros. Everyone needs start attack macros if you're playing melee. I don't know. Why is that not just in the game? Why is that not? It's just so strange.
They did incorporate it later.
Yeah.
But Tea Time just wrote my first macro was sit to teabag Melderon. This is the guy who got me into the game.
Thanks,
Dan.
I gotta say, Dan.
Friends
he
don't
taught
let
us
friends
a lot.
be clickers. I like that. Dude.
Yeah, he taught us a lot about WoW, but what's really funny.
Just call him a D-bag. Just say it. It's okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he it's just we have a lot of funny stories, but I know for Phil at least, he made his experience like you can either make or break someone's experience in the way you deal with a new player, right? Because Dan was very like, no, you got to do this. It has to be like this. It has to be like this. You have to do it like this. And in a way, you want to almost experience things for yourself so that you can make mistakes and learn from them. But a lot of people never learn from those mistakes. A lot of people end up being the clicker all the way from Classic to today, and so it is good to get help from people, but I think there's a middle ground there where you have to kind of say that these things can help you, but it's your play style, you know what I mean? But it's interesting how some people could never imagine playing without key bindings, macros, this or that, and the other person could never imagine playing with key bindings and all this crap. It's there's so many different people out there, so many different play styles. It's interesting how some people force their kind of shit on other people and think that like, oh, if you're not doing this, I'm not saying Dan did that. I'm just saying like a lot of high end people will say like, oh, if you're not doing this, then you're not a good player.
He did that, but yeah, I agree. He definitely did that. But I have to thank him though, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't still be playing probably.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's sitting over here gloating. He's sitting over here gloating right now.
That is so crazy, dude. One little chance interaction, just like such a ginormous impact, like.
Yeah.
And then we both became better players than him.
Oh, he definitely did. He didn't hear that. He didn't hear that because.
Oh, he will.
Yeah.
I don't know about both. I definitely did, but.
Yeah.
I'll wait till he says about that. But anyone who thinks that BFA is the next best thing to sliced bread, it's got to have something wrong with them.
Dude, BFA is the game of our generation. I saw this.
He's like this right now. Def Cam, he's like this.
There's this funny post on
Sorry, go ahead.
on Classic WoW Reddit, and it was the post was called "This post really shows why once again Classic WoW is amazing," and it's from it's a thread on the official Classic forums, and it goes, "Imagine going to McDonald's to go get a 4-piece McNuggets. You pay, get your nuggets, and you're happy and all that. Then some idiot comes and also gets 4-piece McNuggets, but it McForges into a 12-piece McNuggets with a soda and some fries, and you're standing there like a fucking idiot with your dumb 4-piece McNuggets while he or she has more than you for some weird reason, even though you both paid the same price, but you are less rewarded because..."
That is great. That is a really good analogy. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, man.
That's really funny. McForges, that's so funny.
Oh, man, I had to say that.
So let me ask you guys something, right? Classic comes out. You know, what is your first, like, what is your first thing you do when you make new characters, right? You set up your macros, what macros you do, like, all that. Like, how do you set up how do you set up everything? Like, for me, like, first thing I do, now, it depends on what we get in Classic, right? Look, how it is set up, but I always have to set up my action bars, always have to set up my main macros, my main keybinds. I have, one of these nice mouses that have all the friggin' buttons on the side. Mm-hmm. And I have to do, I have, depending on what class I'm playing for my priest, shift depth, all the different things. So, like, what is your setup? How do you do it?
The order of operations for me: create the character, make a bank alt real quick, don't need to log into it, make sure the add-ons are configured correctly before I really move or anything, and make sure
what add-ons?
Oh yeah, there may or may not be add-ons. We'll see. But I make sure all my binds are correct. That's super important to me. I do definitely prioritize having a clean-looking UI, and I make a bunch of executive decisions on where I'm gonna put certain things on my bars, and then I set forth, man.
I think for me, it's gonna be making sure I get all my names. So make a bunch of characters I might not even play just to get my names.
I'm gonna steal all his names now.
And then I want to log in to my hunter and start leveling to 60 and send all that gold to my shaman. That's the plan.
That's the plan, Stan.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm still thinking about that.
How about you, dude, Dane?
Is he back? He said it at the BRB. I'm not sure.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
dude, I'm always so jelly, by the way, of those MMO mice, whatever you call them. I'm a lefty, and that has caused such great friction for me. Like that's. Dude. I still always have to use the little.
Bro? You don't have one of these?
Nah, dude, I have one of.
One
of these, like two buttons on the side joints.
Oh, come on, Karzog.
Dude, I always.
You gotta get with the.
I actually ordered one. They had a special edition Razor. I think what is it? A Razor Naga, the ones that has all those, or which one?
Oh yeah, the Naga, yeah.
There was a special edition lefty one, and I bought it, and I was so happy. Fucking week later, my dog chews through the cord on it, and it was ripped.
Oh man.
Yeah, I have a 12-button mouse as well, but I'm not home right now, so I can't show it to you. But
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm. It's interesting because I'm really thinking about playing without add-ons, at least for leveling. And I'm not too worried about. Raid frame add-ons while I'm leveling, because that's my main thing when I'm for healing, whatever. But there you go. Yeah,
that's it right there. That's what I have.
Oh, that's a nice one.
That's the name on the bottom.
Oh, I have the same one.
Oh, dude, we were saying when you first make your character and set, like, what are the first things you do when you to set up your character?
What are the first things I do?
Yeah.
Is that the question? Yeah. I don't do a lot actually. I click on interface, add the bars. The left one, the extra bar, and that's it.
Dude, do you realize there are still people that play with just the one action bar?
That is insane.
No.
And they use shift scroll to go down to cycle through.
No way. Who does
that? I swear I've seen people who still do that.
I've seen people do that as well.
Uh-huh.
I still have friends that low key click though. I have to say, like,
like,
they know
dude,
they shouldn't.
I clicked until up in. Dude.
Melderon, you were like a mixed clicker. You clicked and pressed some buttons, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like certain things, I refuse to bind my res. I will always click res because I don't know. I feel like
you bind res.
I don't bind res. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, why would you? Yeah, okay.
I refuse to. Oh, what I mean is I refuse to bind res. Yeah, like there are some things
Big
that
Al in the house. Big Al in the house. Sorry, I just gonna make a shout out to.
Oh yeah.
What's up, Al?
Hey.
Friends don't rent, friends crick. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I refuse to bind my resurrection. What else do I not have out? I'm trying to think. Well, what is it?
Damn.
Okay, yeah, but
So you don't have a Razor, Defcam?
no, I do. I have the I have a Corsair.
Oh, I see. But
Yeah.
if you have 12 buttons, everything is bound, isn't it?
Well, no, not really. I mean,
You use Shift and Alt and Control and
yeah.
Dude, my secret bind is the tilde, dude. I love the tilde. To the left of 1, that's my shit right there.
Oh, I use that for usually my main cooldown usually.
I got tilde, shift tilde, control tilde, alt tilde, everything, man. Everything
Yeah.
tilde.
Yeah, with a 2-button mouse, you're gonna have to have all those.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
You guys remember those keyboards that had like an extension off to the right of it that were for?
Defcam still has one.
Mine has
Really?
an extension to the left,
Yeah.
but it doesn't recognize any of those buttons in
Oh.
the game, so
Okay.
you can't use them. Yeah.
sometimes I feel like using the keyboard is faster than using the Razer Naga.
For some things, it is, yeah. It's funny because I don't have I have a lot of things on the mouse, but I hate having to go from 1 to 12. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a pretty far thumb leap.
Yeah, you get used to it though, but
Yeah.
I feel like in BFA I used my keyboard for certain spells because it would be faster, and it was very important to click them as fast as possible.
Yeah.
The best
Well,
strat is to get a foot pedal.
A foot pedal. There you go.
You gotta get those foot pedals and a wheel, dude. That's how you play WoW, like a champ.
Oh, there was a time I had my keys bind on my wheel as well, like up and down and shift up, shift down.
Oh, I
stuff
hated
like
that, dude. And I always would bind caps lock all the time, and I would always talk in caps, and I was like, God damn it! I figured I had it bound to, but
Dude, if you ever get a chance, go watch some of the old Super Play Brothers and watch Defcam try to stream his consciousness through a keyboard. It is hysterical.
oh my gosh. So guys, there's one thing I cannot play and type at the same time.
I'm with you, brother.
I
I'm
can't
with you,
do
brother.
it.
I can't do
I
it.
It looks like a different language. It literally looks like a different
It'll
language.
be like, ooh, I do ya with me. And I was like, what are you trying to say? And I'm like, booba gala iti.
It's not even close to what he's trying to say.
I'm like, come with me to the place. It's like, it's like pig Latin or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah.
And
Get it.
so if you ever see some guy running around screaming in some weird language,
gibberish, it's probably
me.
Defcam.
Yeah, it's probably me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Typing,
You should make
multitasking
some
is type, bro.
You should
When
make some macros for it. Like,
my girl tries to
Yeah.
talk with me and I'm typing, man, I don't know why, dude. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. And I'm just typing,
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah. And I don't even know what I agreed to till after. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Dude, that's the one thing that I am not. There are some people that out there who play the game fine and type. Not me, dude. When and all the time, I love when I whisper somebody and they get 1, 2, 3, A, 5, 6, 7, shit. It's and I'm like, why are none of my spells working? And I look down and it's
And you're in the chat window somehow.
chat window, and I'm like, God damn! And I just
And you know what? And you don't want to delete it because there's so many characters. So you just hit enter.
So I just hit
and
enter. I do it all the time. So when people whisper me, expect to get a response probably 10 minutes later of just random numbers and letters.
Then you hit him with
Yeah.
the fat MT. MT.
Yeah.
Oh,
MT.
sorry, MT. Yeah, but in Defcamps it's like NJ because he can't find out the MT. You know what I mean? So it's and then the guy's like, "What, New Jersey?" You know what I mean? So yeah, that's Defcamp. So
And then I'll. So Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, those we covered a lot of bases. We covered macros and add-ons pretty well. I think
First,
next week
second,
we're
and
gonna be
third,
doing
yeah.
guilds, I think we said, or something different maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
What, next week, guilds?
Guilds are what was the other idea we had?
Professions.
Professions. Yeah.
And celebrities playing WoW.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate good times coming. Yeah, that's one guy, Macaulay Culkin,
Macaulay Culkin.
and me. Very hot.
What are you guys getting into this weekend? You doing anything cool?
Nothing that I would like to say on stream.
What am I doing this? No, nothing really.
Oh yeah, I'm going to play some poker tomorrow
Alright.
night.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
you're gonna
You win some money?
I'm
I
not
guess,
gonna say that.
Some hold'em?
Poker, get it?
Something like a little hold'em.
Oh, that's such a good
Yeah,
joke.
hold
Def Camp.
I didn't.
Oh, I
even-
love Hold'em, dude. I love
Yeah,
Hold'em.
Hold'em's fun,
What did
man.
you say, Def Camp?
No, poker, get it? Poker.
Don't. Yeah, it's. You have to explain it. It's not funny.
So high quality content right here.
Yeah, I know.
Some
Yeah, this is
poker.
great.
I was like, oh yeah.
All right, so,
Right,
should
so,
we wrap it up
uh,
then?
That joke.
Yeah, we'll wrap
Yeah.
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
don't
you've
forget
just
to wrap it up.
you've just watched an hour and a half of high quality content. Believe it or not. Thank you very much for your time. We'll see you next week, same time per usual. Hope you have a good one. Hope we get some juicy news by then.
Yeah, juicy.
Same bad time,
When is the
same
friggin'
bad
beta
channel.
coming? If a beta is coming,
Right.
Or like a development progress update would be nice
anything.
too.
Water
as well.
cooler.
Yeah.
Oh.
Water cooler would be perfect.
Yeah, I'm very thirsty.
We're
I
not
need
getting a
water
beta.
this morning.
I'm calling it.
Yeah,
No beta. I think I might agree. Yeah. Oh, guys, if you want to come check DefCon out, I might be streaming this weekend. So, just yeah. Wow.
All
Yeah,
right.
you can find them on Twitch at Def Camp or
Or on our channel, DefCon
Yeah.
Valorant. Should I do a good night, Azeroth?
Good night. All right, guys. Thanks
Yeah.
for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Bye.
See you guys.